All right, I think we've got folks here. Welcome everyone to tonight's book birthday party in celebration of Tamar Hurwitz-Fleming's birthday and the birthday of her book, How to Have a Happy Birthday, Create Meaning, Fulfillment, and Joy on Your Special Day. I am Jenny Lisk, and I have the privilege of being the moderator for tonight's event. And I'd like to start by saying happy birthday to you, Tamar.
Thank you.
Yeah, and congratulations on the big splash that your book is already making. It's #1 hot new release in its category on Amazon already today. And I know you've been hearing incredible feedback from some of the early readers, which has been so amazing. And also, I wanted to mention that a portion of the proceeds of your book are going to Muttville Senior Dog Rescue, which is amazing as well. Thank you for doing that. So again, Tamar, congratulations on all of this and the very happy birthday. And I'd like to turn the mic over to you to share a few thoughts before we jump into our discussion.
Thank you, Jenny. And I just want to thank you for moderating tonight. And thank you, Deborah, for participating as well. I'm really excited about this. And I just want to thank all of you for being here and to celebrate my birthday, to celebrate my new book. It's a big deal and I feel it. And I'm so happy that you're here with your love and your support. So thank you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Tamar. We're going to begin our discussion in just a moment here. But first, I want to make sure I mention, please stick around all the way until the end. We're going to give away a special prize to one of our lucky attendees tonight. It's a signed copy of Tamar's book and some extra special presents, which we'll mention later. And you will need to be here with us when we spin the prize wheel to win. And because this is a birthday party, we also have party favors for everyone who's joined us tonight. And finally, towards the end of the event, we'll be asking folks to drop a happy birthday message for Tamar into the chat. I know she's going to love reading all of your messages from everyone who's joined tonight, and we'll be sure to share those with her after the call. So now it is my pleasure to introduce our speakers for this evening. First, we have Tamar. Tamar Hurwitz-Fleming was born on January 9th, 1966, and grew up experiencing happy birthdays, disappointing birthdays, and downright terrible birthdays until she turned 20 and realized making her birthday happy was entirely up to her. She's an artist and astrologer, an award-winning environmental educator who's worked internationally and presented to more than 350,000 people, inspiring and motivating them to make positive behavior change on behalf of the greater good. She wrote How to Have a Happy Birthday to help people find deeper meaning and happiness on their birthdays. So Tamar, again, welcome and congratulations on Pub Day today for your incredible new book.
Thank you.
And now in conversation with Tamar tonight, we have Deborah Cooper. So Deborah is a psychotherapist in the San Francisco Bay Area. She's also an artist, and she leads an annual retreat called A Fool's Journey, which is focused on the spiritual aspects of the tarot. Deborah, I can't think of a better conversation partner for Tamar tonight, and I'm really looking forward to listening to the discussion you two have as you talk all about birthdays for all of us here. So Deborah, welcome, and I will turn the mic over to you in just a moment here. First, I would like to encourage everyone to put your questions into the chat as we go along throughout the discussion. I'll be monitoring the chat and making sure that we see all your questions for our Q&A time, which will happen later during the hour. Okay, Deborah, I will turn it over to you now.
Yay. Okay, I'm so excited to be here, and I feel really privileged, Tamar, to be in conversation with you. I mean, we've been in so much conversation about this book and about so many things, and here it is. It is its day, it's your day. So I want to just first start with, okay, what did you do on your birthday? And how did you choose? What was the process to be, I'm going to do this tonight?
Great question. So, I believe our birthdays are like a major holiday and that we need to plan for them. So as I was thinking about what I wanted to do for my birthday, I knew that I wanted to be in Santa Fe and that I wanted to see art. And so that's pretty much the loose kind of framework that I did. But today what I actually did is I went to breakfast with my sister and her friend Izzy, who's in from out of town. And we went to this wonderful French cafe. And I had told the waiter that it was my birthday. And after we ate, I was really actually surprised when 5 of the staff people showed up and started singing happy birthday to me with like a little eclair with a candle in it. And they had like a cowbell that they were, using. And I got really emotional. It just hit me that this was such a big moment for me. I've been working on this book for a really long time, and to come to this day and to have this event tonight, I knew it was coming. That was actually the big part of this birthday, was this event and this party and this time together to celebrate. So I really started my day with a lot of emotion, actually, that I didn't anticipate. And I was crying, and my sister started crying, and Izzy started crying. And then the staff, they're still singing and they're looking like, what's going on? It's supposed to be a happy birthday, but there's a lot of emotion on a birthday. And it was really the feelings of love and joy that were coming up, and gratitude. And then after that, we went, my husband and I went to go see art at a gallery that's here that has really wonderful art from the early 20th century. And then we went down to the plaza and we had lunch, and then we came back and I did some art, like some collage that I worked on, and here we are.
So you are an artist, you're an activist, you have so many different things. You're a very spiritual person. What was it? What was it that spurred you on to write this particular book?
It's a great question. I've had a wide range of birthday experiences growing up and into my 20s, and I really had the range from amazing to really hard to okay to fabulous and all of that. And it was about 20 years ago that I started to pay attention to people that were having hard times with their birthdays. And there was one person in particular, I was wishing them a happy birthday. They had told me a week earlier they didn't like their birthdays, but I wished them a happy birthday anyway. I brought them a cupcake, and they got really upset with me. Like, I don't like my birthdays. And I thought, whoa, that's a really strong reaction. And I started to think about it. And I realized that there's actually a lot of people that have a hard time putting themselves in the center of their day and celebrating themselves. And the fact that they're alive, and the fact that they were born, and the fact that they're here. So I thought, you know what? I need to write a book about that. And I was thinking about it for many years before I actually sat down to write it. And then it took me years to write, because I had to go through my birthdays and feel the energy build, go through it, and then realize, like, okay, well, next year I want to try it this way, and I want to do it that way. And so each birthday that I had informed what I wrote about, because I was tuning into it intentionally to see how it felt and to see what worked and what didn't work. And that's how I wrote the book.
It's fantastic. I'm so thankful for this because, as you know, I'm a pagan and I celebrate the solstices, the equinoxes, the turn of the wheel. But one of my most important spiritual teachers said the most important pagan holiday is the birthday, because we are sacred and we are divine. And I certainly know, as a therapist, I always check out how people feel. And you were nailing it. I mean, there are people where the birthday is painful, and can you say more, like, I think it was chapter 2 about people sabotaging their birthdays?
Oh, yeah.
Because I certainly know that, but
oh, yeah.
to
That's
that.
a big one. That's a big one. We do it a lot. We sabotage, and it's a very natural reaction. That if you can't receive something and you don't know how to receive it, you figure out a way to keep it away. And chapter 2 is all about the birthday blues, and how there's ways that we self-sabotage our birthday joy by not talking about it, by acting like it's not a big deal, not telling people, not planning, so that the day of our birthday shows up and no one's available to celebrate. See, my birthday, no one really cares. I mean, there's ways that we recreate our stories around our birthdays if we don't have the belief that we're worthy of love and celebration on our day. Everybody gets one day. That's what I love about birthdays. It's an equal opportunity provider. I don't get to have 26 hours and you get 22 hours, Deborah. We each get 24 hours in one day a year. Everybody, we all have that in common. And everybody loves to celebrate other people's birthdays, just even lighting up. And, when we went out to lunch today, I told the waitress there that it was my birthday too. And I got another cake with a candle in it. I got a tres leches cake with a candle. I'm like, oh, and they were singing again. But like, the act of telling people allows them to give you love and excitement and enthusiasm. And it's our job to open up and receive it, to say yes. And actually, when the woman came up with the cake, it was just her. And my husband, Drew, started singing. And she said, oh, do you want us to sing? And I said, yes. So then the other staff came and we raised energy together, right? And that was what I was asking for when she asked me the question, I said yes, but that fed me. And it made me feel that I was worthy of positive energy to come my way. And I took it in. And that feeds me for the rest of the year.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And,
But did I answer the question about the sabotage? Because you asked me a question and yeah.
Yeah, the sabotage. I mean, that,
Sabotage, it's what we do when we're not comfortable celebrating our birthdays. We find ways to avoid it. And there's lots of ways we avoid it. And if anybody out there in TV land has that experience, it's perfectly normal. And there's a way to work through it so that you can open up just a little bit more to experiencing what a happy birthday can feel like. And chapter 2 here really talks about that and really lays out the ways that we can unpack the ways that we self-sabotage, because a lot of us aren't even aware that we do that. We aren't even aware that our subconscious is in charge. And so I wanted to really bring it into the open and explain the ways that happens.
yeah, I think it's kind of a revolutionary idea that we actually are divine and our lives are sacred and worthy of being really being a holiday.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another book out there like this. So I'm just really grateful you wrote it. And I do think looking at, because I know as a therapist, I mean, sometimes clients are like, why are you on about this? Well, it's like, what does this mean that you will not celebrate your birthday? And that it's painful.
Yeah.
It's painful to be celebrated.
Well,
or
the pain typically,
acknowledged.
I think a lot of the pain comes from our childhood experiences. You know, society tells us, oh, it's your birthday. We see our friends having birthdays and birthday parties. And if our parents or our family, we're not getting the positive energy on that day, we're getting mixed signals. Birthdays are supposed to be happy, but I just got yelled at, or no one celebrated me, or people forgot, and so it reinforces the negative beliefs we have about ourselves. And then we just get dim to our birthday joy. So I think a lot of the stuff happens earlier in our lives.
Yes, yes. And I do think it's absolutely possible to still have a terrible birthday, even if you believe in a good birthday.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. I got food poisoning one birthday after a series of kind of bad things. And it was very funny. My partner was in the bathroom door and said, "You are right. This is the worst birthday ever." Right? It can happen, but
Yeah.
then it's notable. Like, I certainly remember that day.
Yeah. But I think stuff happens and we can't do much about it. But when we don't have a good birthday because we didn't step up, that's what I'm trying to change here. That's what I'm encouraging people to reconfigure in their own lives. If you have a terrible birthday, it's not because you didn't try your best.
No, it's bad oysters.
Yeah.
And my mother was dying. So, it was just, yeah. I mean, I think we all have good birthday stories, bad birthday stories. It sounds like you've really looked at your birthdays and all the different shades of it.
Yeah.
Tamar, do you have any particular things that you do to celebrate the people around you, like rituals that you do, or do you just tune in to individual, like you have people you love? How do you celebrate their birthdays?
Well, it depends on who it is and what they're willing to do themselves. I can't force people to be happy on their birthdays or welcome the birthday spirit if they're not up for it. The whole point is it's up to us to do the work.
Yeah.
So for my husband's birthday, I'll start asking him several weeks in advance, a month in advance, what about your birthday? What would you like to do? And together we'll actually figure out what would sound fun for him. Because sometimes it's hard to know what you want to do on your birthday. Like, I don't know. And so just getting into conversation with somebody helps get that thinking process going for them. Also, if I'll decorate the house. So I have, this banner's been all over the place. I pack it, I take it, I put it up the night before a birthday or my husband's birthday, and then keep it up till the day after. And decorating makes a big deal. I mean, you can just see how wonderful this banner is. It just brings joy into the house. It's such a simple thing. But if you can decorate the house for people, or even, the office, bring in a little something, just little things, but also on the birthday day, really letting them know that they are birthday royalty and that I am completely in service to whatever it is that they want, whether I'm with a friend or with my husband, that really they're they're the birthday king or queen. And so how can I help them feel as much love as possible?
And do
And I
you,
also, if you're a friend of mine and you are, sometimes you get little emails from me and stuff like that.
and do you have a particular thing that you eat on your birthday? Do you have a tradition of like cake, pie, like what?
Just cake. I like cake. Yeah,
Cake.
I have my birthday cakes right here. I've got a strawberry cream cake ready to go for after this party.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, and I had another question. I have many questions. Okay, a favorite birthday story of yours.
Okay, favorite birthday story. I have two. So the first story is from 15 years ago tonight. 15 years ago tonight, I was turning 43. And is that correct? Yeah, I was turning 43. And friends and I went out for dinner at a Thai restaurant. And I had met my husband a few months earlier. Friends had introduced us, and we were sort of sniffing each other out. And I don't know if I liked him or not. I was just, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But that night, he ended up sitting next to me, thanks to some engineering from other people that were there. And he gave me a book. The gift he gave me was a book on antique jewelry. I love antique jewelry. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, how thoughtful. He barely knows me, but he got me a thoughtful gift that really touched me. But what really put the icing on the cake was after dinner, we were going to go out to have drinks somewhere. And I'm like, well, where do people want to go? And he said, you're the birthday queen. You get to decide. And that was completely unprompted. He didn't know anything about birthday queens, but when he said that, I'm like, wow, that felt really good to me, that he completely understood that it was my day and I got to make that decision, but that he was in service to that he was there to help me have the best possible day. And that was the night that we decided we liked each other. That's the night I certainly decided I liked him, and it was mutual, and we've been married. But he is the best birthday buddy. He's so supportive. He takes the day off work for me so that he can be there for me and we can hang out and whatever it is I want to do. And he also helps me figure out what I want to do. Sometimes I like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. And he'll say, well, he'll kind of, so that's one story. The other story happened a year ago. It was a family vacation. I was with my big sister, Doreen, and my brother-in-law, Todd, and their friend, Richard, and Drew, and we were all out on my birthday, and we had a good dinner. And then we went back to the wherever we were staying and played cards. And it was a game called 5 Crowns, which is sort of like gin rummy, where there's luck involved, but there's some skill and strategy. You play 13 rounds. That's the game. I won the first round. It's like, oh, it's my birthday. I won the first round. And then the cards come again. It was like, I won the second round. Oh, haha, it's my birthday. I won the third round. And I won the fourth round. And I kept winning. And everyone's like, what's going on? And you know what I said? I said, it's the birthday magic. It's just the birthday magic. And people were kind of skeptical of the birthday magic, but that's what was happening. I won 11 rounds that night out of 13. Can you imagine? Total birthday magic at play. So how do we know that that's true? Because it happened. But then a couple nights later, we played again. I won like twice. Like my magic was so not on that night. So it was just a proof point that birthday magic is real. It happens. And it doesn't happen the same way every year. But when we open ourselves up to the good things happening, the synchronicities, or you turn on the radio and that's that perfect song that you haven't heard in years and it's singing to you, that's the kind of birthday magic that's available to us.
I love that you've embraced being the birthday queen. Of course, the birthday queen wins every game, or almost all. Of course. Just
Yeah,
totally,
that's how it is. And
totally
when it's your birthday, you get to win every game.
yes, that's
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
So in the book, you talk about there's a whole, I mean, as a therapist, oh my God, presence is a whole issue in itself, right? People getting the right present, the wrong present, the different meanings of presence. Now you talk in the book, right in the book, about buying yourself a present, even if you're flooded with presents from other people. Talk about that, the meaning of that and what it means to you. And I want to hear if you got a present this year for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So buying yourself a present, even though other people are giving you gifts, is a really beautiful act of helping you determine what it is you want and allowing yourself to give it to yourself. And it's, we're very good at giving to others. But what does it mean to give to ourselves? And I believe that if we take some time to think about what we want for our birthday and can give it to ourselves in the form of a gift, that it transforms our relationship to ourselves, that we're honoring ourselves by buying ourselves a gift. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift or a big gift. It could be something simple as like a wonderful mug you see that you want to use every day for the rest of the year that reminds you of your birthday joy and your self-love, and that I gave this to myself. So I think it's good magic actually to buy yourself a birthday gift. And you get to do that because it's your birthday. And I did buy myself a birthday gift. I actually bought it 2 months ago from Myra Kallman. You know, the artist, Myra Kallman, she's a great artist. She had like a little booklet of some prints. And I thought that's what I want for my birthday. So I bought it. I still haven't opened it. I'm going to open it later with cake, but it's been on my birthday altar. And that's the gift I gave to myself this year.
Well, I think just like the playing the game and winning, there's birthday magic. Like as you were talking, I was just thinking about last year, what I did for my birthday was spend a night downtown and just do like a downtown birthday. And we were walking in North Beach, and there was a painting that was like made for me, right? It was total birthday magic. It was like, and I did hesitate, like, I don't need more art in this house, but that painting was made for me. So I think there's something too of like paying attention, paying attention to what gift comes, what's presented.
It's funny you say that. I turned 46 and there was a space in my living room that needed a piece of art. And a friend said, you need a piece of art there. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I went out literally 2 days later on my birthday to an antique store. And as soon as I walked in, there was the painting. And not only was it the perfect size, but it was a painting of Mount San Jacinto, right where I was born. Like I was born under the mountain right, because I was born in Palm Springs and that's the mountain. It was a painting of that mountain. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this painting is for me. And it's still in my house. And that was the magic of unexpectedly coming across something that was really clearly meant to be. And being open to that. And that's part of the fun of having a birthday and going out and figuring out what's there for me. We can't script our birthdays. We can do our best to plan. But, I showed up today and my plans were loose, but there was some spontaneity, and that was important for me. Just be flexible. And I changed my plans, actually. I had plans to go someplace. I said, I don't want to do that. Let's go here. Do what you want, but think about it. Let yourself do what you want, but think about it so that you're prepared when the day comes to fully immerse yourself and enjoy it.
Well, and like you said earlier, I mean, one of the gifts to self is just filling the house with beauty.
Yeah.
For me, when I work with grieving people or depressed people, it's like, how can you have beauty in all your senses and make your senses come alive? And I think on our birthdays, I mean, certainly for me, I'd like think about, I want to smell something beautiful. I want to like take a hot bath. I want all my senses to be engaged with, because this is a celebration of our life, right? And I think that gift of making a beautiful, I mean, you and I both love to make beauty in our house, right? And on the birthday especially. Now, how about, I mean, this book is really going to be given to some people for their birthday, but it doesn't feel right on the actual day. So what would you prescribe of when and how to give this to people?
It requires some planning on your part. 4 to 6 weeks before somebody's birthday is an ideal time because their birthday's coming. And so here's a book for you to read, and hopefully will encourage you to transform your thinking about your birthday, give you some ideas. Even if you like your birthdays, there's still some good ideas here you might not have considered. And it gives you time to plan so that you can actually have a better birthday pretty soon after reading the book. I remember reading something about birthdays 30 years ago, like, oh, have a moment in the morning to just get calm with spirit, which I write about in my book. But I read that book 2 weeks after my birthday. It's like, oh, I have to wait 50 weeks now to put this tip to work. And I was a little frustrated by that. It was a good idea. So I don't, if you give this to them on their birthday, it's too late. They got to wait. So give it to them before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it doesn't have to be, even if it's 2 weeks before, even if it's 10 days before, even if it's 5 days before, you can still give the book and you can get through it pretty quickly and help spark some positive reactions in people. I've had that experience with people in my life that haven't had the book for very long, but it helped transform their experience with their birthdays.
there's people, and I certainly as a therapist, who are just, it's just another day. I mean, you are exploding that with this book, right? And I truly hope I'm going to be giving it to some clients to have them explore it. I mean, my big question is, how does it feel right now that it's done and it's out there?
Great question. I've had this idea again for decades, and I started writing it more than a decade ago. I mean, it's been mine for a really long time. It's been mine. And today it goes out into the world. It flies the coop, and it's going to have a life of its own. This isn't about me anymore. This is just what I helped create, and now it's going to go do its thing. And I feel really good about it. I've already had reactions from people, from friends that have been transformed by reading this book. And it's been incredibly moving and fulfilling to me that this has helped people. That's all I want to do. I want to help people have a happier birthday, because I believe that when we have a happy birthday and we feel the love from our community and the world, that it heals us. And when we're healed, we make the world a better place, one person at a time. And so this is a really nice entry point for us to welcome in more self-love, more self-care, more self-celebration. And I feel really good. I'm so ready for this to be out in the world. And so it's a great time to celebrate it.
It's fantastic, Tamar. And okay, I just realized, here's a question. I'm going to be turning 69 in February. I have heard more from friends and clients of like, ooh, I don't want my birthday, I'm getting older. What do you have to say to that?
You are getting older. You are. Yeah. 69 years old, Deborah. I'm not going to say it's not. And aren't you
Oh,
lucky that you get to be 69, right? So there's a
yeah.
privilege to aging. So let's embrace that. Let's celebrate that. The problem with aging is that, I'm driving a 1966 vehicle, right? That's what I'm going to have till the day I die. It's a 1966 vehicle. And if it's not working so well as we get the miles underneath the wheels, life is going to be more uncomfortable, because if your body's not physically comfortable, life isn't as fun, just the way it is. So part of being older to me is the physical stuff that starts to happen that makes aging, it can be hard. And I think when people say, I don't like getting older, I remember my grandmother saying, don't get old. It wasn't because she minded getting old, it's because it was physically more difficult for her. And so I understand that as I age, I notice changes. But this idea that we don't want to be older, well, you are getting older. So let's acknowledge that. My concern is that when people go like that, they're missing an opportunity to acknowledge that your life is going by you. Your life is going by you. And time is a non-renewable resource in any given life. We don't get the time back. So I use my birthday almost as a wake-up call. Am I living the life I want to live? Because I don't know when I'm going to leave this life, and I don't know how many years I have. And what do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do with me? And my birthday, and I am getting older. I'm 58 today. And 60 is coming, and that's a big number. I remember, Deborah, when you turned 60, you're like my trailblazer. You turn back and you report back how it's like. You go, Tamar, 60's hard. You said it's different. It's not like 50. And what was your experience of that?
Well, my experience is certainly in the 60s is that you really do actually know that life is short. It's not just a saying, right? It's like there's people your age die, icons die. And I mean, how I feel, I think we go back to, there is something powerful. I mean, I'll be 69 next year, 70, but that life is sacred, and this is a sacred age, and this is part of it, right? It's, and like you said, I love what you just said about, I have a 1955 here, like
That's right.
body, right? And yeah, it needs a lot of tune-ups
Yeah.
and needs more care. It
Yeah.
needs more being aware. And, but the birthdays in a way become even more important, because who knows how many more there will be, right?
Right. And for me, it's like, and what do I want to do with the time I have left? I'm aware that life is getting shorter. Kind of freaks me out a little bit, because
Yeah,
I'm not ready to go. And it means like there's just more I want to do. And so what I don't want to do is, I don't want to go to my death having squandered my potential, having
yeah.
squandered the joy I could have felt, having squandered the friendships I could have had, or the creativity I could have done, whatever it is, or the, been so stressed out. It's like, let's enjoy our lives a little more, right? We have them, we're here. So that's part of what I think about as I age, is what kind of life do I want to live with the time I have left? And that's up to me. Most of the time it's up to me.
Well,
I
and
don't,
this is why it's really important you wrote this book.
yeah.
You just did something very powerful on this birthday, which is produce this book, right? And it's an incredible gift. Incredible gift.
Thank you, Deborah.
I think, Jenny, should we open this up to questions?
Sure, that sounds great. Let me come back on camera here. Okay. That was terrific. Thank you, Deborah, for that was amazing. And Tamar, wonderful. Let's jump right into these questions here. We have a question from Debbie. When we see someone we care about doing the self-sabotage around their birthday, how can we help them to see the day differently?
It's a great question. Sometimes people get really stuck in their attachment to their self-pity, which self-sabotage helps feed, that they don't have enough power, that they're not really making choices, and that the sadness is that they get attached to that. Sometimes there's not much we can do other than say, I'm here to support you having a joyous day. It's your choice. Life's all about choices, and I can't choose this for you. But what I can do is support you in whatever you do decide to do. So I think showing up supportively so that they understand that you're there for them, but it's up to them to take those first steps. And you can still do things like decorate the house, or send them a birthday card, or whatever it is, whoever the person is, to help kind of raise the spirit. And I think a little bit of that can be quite contagious in a good way.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like saying, did I answer your question? But I can't hear you, so I'm just going to trust.
Absolutely. All right, here's a question that came in. Are there baby steps that birthday challenged people can take to improve their birthdays?
That's a really good question. So the answer is yes. This book has a lot of good ideas, so I recommend that you read it to think about what sparks your interest of what will make you feel good. In the back, there's a workbook, and I think this is, in some ways, this is the most powerful part of the book. This workbook that talks about, that really has you explore what your resistance is to your birthday, and why, what are some of the messages you've had. If you're willing to do the workbook, I think that you will get some interesting insight. And the workbook also has you list out the things that you like to do, the foods that you like to eat, the places you like to visit, so that you start like, oh, I never thought that I could XYZ on my birthday. That's a good point. So the baby step would be getting some more self-awareness about maybe what some of your birthday issues are. And then taking, there's one friend that I have that didn't like her birthdays at all. She read an early version of my book, and she ended up deciding that she was going to have a birthday party for the first time, and she bought herself a cake, and she was very excited about the type of cake she was going to buy. And I was so happy that someone who didn't care about, just didn't pay attention to her birthdays, was suddenly willing to embrace it in a baby step, buying a cake, right? But it was really exciting. What kind of cake? Also decorating the house. That's a baby step. Put something up. That's easy. So just take the day off work. Think about what you might want to do that would be fun. Those are some baby steps. They don't have to be emotionally centered, in the sense, like, I'm not saying dig deep before your birthday, but when your birthday comes, go have fun. Go find the joy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And I'm actually going to drop into the chat right now a link. You mentioned the workbook is in the back of the book itself.
Yeah.
And also you have a downloadable version if people want to print it out and write in it, or write in a beautiful journal or something. I just put the link in the chat for people to do that. Here's an interesting question. From Celia. What thoughts do you have about the hobbits who have a tradition of giving other people gifts on one's birthday, or the Central American tradition where the birthday person prepares breakfast and treats for their friends? I think the Mañanitas, who show up at dawn expecting to be served and taken care of by the birthday person.
Fascinating. I'm not aware of any of that, Celia. So maybe you and I need to have a talk so I can learn more about that.
That sounds cool. Great. Yes, and please report back what you find out. All right, thank you. We have another question here. What do you say to people who are uncomfortable in the spotlight to encourage them to step into it on their birthdays?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, a lot of people don't like having the cake and the singing, makes them really uncomfortable, all that attention coming at them. Um, the spotlight can be uncomfortable. It just can be. I think that birthdays are a great opportunity, though, that when I think it's all about the cake and the candles and people singing to you, just breathe into it and just look at everybody's faces, and they're looking at you with love. That's really what it's about. When even the people at the restaurant today, I was looking, I was crying, but I was looking at them when they were singing to me, and I saw love in their eyes. And the waiter afterwards, he was so loving to me, just saying happy birthday, and he was making really beautiful eye contact with me. And I felt the love from this stranger because I shared a vulnerable moment in the birthday cake singing thing. I mean, I was crying. That's pretty vulnerable. I that's kind of hard to do, but there it was. But just letting yourself just smile and receive, I think is a way to practice being in the spotlight.
Mm, okay, thank you. Here's another question. We're noticing behind you there's some candles and some interesting things. Can you tell us, please, about that?
Yeah, behind me there is the birthday altar that I put up the other day, and it's on Facebook and Instagram if you want to see my time-lapse film of me assembling it. And I have pictures of me and my parents from 1972 that are there, and then also stuff, crystals that I brought from home, and just stuff that I put up and whatever that's there. And then here is like my birthday cake altar and my book altar. It's almost like I have two altars. One's for me, and then this is for my book. There's two different birthdays going on today. So that's what's going on, and just, yeah.
I love it. And is that cake on the altar? Is that similar to the cake on the cover?
You know, it kind of is, come to think about it. It's a strawberry cream cake, which is my favorite kind of cake. The cake on the cover, it was a made up cake. I actually, my mother-in-law,
What-
yeah, my mother-in-law called me the other day. She goes, Tamar, where's the recipe for that cake? I can't find it. I go, recipe for that cake? I go, I made it up. I was just painting one day and thought the colors were kind of fun. So there is no recipe for that cake.
Yeah,
It's frosting, really.
that's your homework. You need to come up with a recipe and share it with all of us on your social media and your email list because everybody's going to want to make this for their next
I
birthday.
actually did make it. The truth is I did make the cake. You can see it in the invitation that I sent out. I did make it. It was like cake mix and food coloring frosting. I don't know that I recommend it, but it looks cute. But also the
Yeah.
other thing I want to say to all of you listening right now, a very powerful thing you can do for your birthday. It's a baby step. Make yourself a birthday altar. Grab some pictures from your childhood, grab your favorite crystal or shell or whatever it is, and create an altar, put up a candle, create an altar for yourself in the days leading up to your birthday. I promise you, it will help bring some positive energy to you and some self-love and self-appreciation. And
Yeah.
it looks
Cool. All right. Thank you for telling us about that. And I wanted to point out, I don't know if it's been mentioned yet. You mentioned that you did the cake on the front and you also did some artwork at the
good.
start of each chapter, which is your original artwork and paintings
It is.
that
And
are in
I'm
the
going to
book.
show you, I'm going to just confess right now, I do play favorites when it comes to my artwork. This is my favorite illustration. This is Peppermint Patty. She's the Shih Tzu that lives across the street. That's the love of my life, aside from my husband right now. And so I had to come up with something to define the birthday blues. Like what illustration do you use to talk about the birthday blues? And she was grumpy one day, and I put a little birthday crown on her. So that's my favorite illustration in the book.
Awesome. There's lots of great comments here in the chat. People excited about the birthday altars. Somebody manifesting this gets to the New York Times bestseller list.
Oh,
Somebody's buying a birthday banner, I think they said, tomorrow. Somebody's buying the book for her friend who has a hard time celebrating herself and her birthday. And we have another question here from Rebecca. I love the idea of taking up more space on your birthday. It's always so exciting to see birthday celebrations with twins. How do you feel about shared birthday parties and do they distract from the queen?
great question. Great question. Shared birthday, if you share a birthday with a family member, and you're a child growing up in that becomes your normal. At a certain point, I think individuation on your day is important to have your own energy of your own day. So it's not always about the other person and sharing. And when it comes to friends or colleagues, Actually, one of my colleagues I know is here today. Hi, Rachel. Your birthday's coming up on January 13th. And we would do cake, like, okay, it's staff time, and we would do cake in our team. But I always said, I want my cake on the 9th, and you can have yours on the 13th. We're not going to split the difference and share one cake at our team meeting just for both of us, because it felt really important. Today's my day, right? And in a few days, it's going to be Rachel's day. And so let's not actually share the birthdays if we don't have to. If you have to, or if you want to, do what you want. There's no rules. Do what you want, but whatever feels good to you. That's the bottom line. But don't hide behind sharing your birthday with somebody else as a way to avoid being the center of attention and receiving the love just for yourself.
Okay. Thank you. Here is a comment, and maybe you'll find a question buried in here. Anya says, my kid is 6 years old now. All of the birthdays that seem to happen every week that he celebrates with friends are all starting to blend together. It's all the same: bad cake, congealed pizza, and exhausted parents. I'm trying to find the motivation to be as excited for his party as I am for the fact that he was born. Some thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Parents.
so I don't have kids, so I don't have that experience of throwing birthday parties with kids and doing the birthday party circuit. What I do think is important, though, Anya, is to set aside a moment in your child's day, in the morning preferably, to be thoughtful and spiritual, actually, without necessarily in any way that works for you, but really sitting with them and saying, this is such an important day. It's the day you came into your life to be with us. What are some things you're grateful for in your life? Let's talk about that. Gratitude is a very powerful way to get into the heart and to get into a place of openness. And so when we start to have conversations with children about what they might be grateful for, it helps them. It's not just about cake and pizza and parties. And I think that when we help kids understand that the day is special for them for reasons much bigger than the cake and the parties, which are fun. And believe me, as a kid, that is what we wanted. But kids are sensitive. And I write about that in the book, how to celebrate with kids, especially, and sensitive ones. In particular, I think as a parent, being tuned into that, I think is a good idea.
Okay, thank you. Deborah, yes.
Yeah, I can say, I having had a child, I think there's a difference between the kid's birthday party and like what you're talking about, Tamar. I mean, with my son, there was a book, I think it's called On the Day You Were Born, that was just about celebrating the day they were born, that I read to him every birthday morning until he got too irritated with me. And, but he has that book on his bookshelf at 31. I mean, I read that book. And the other thing is a family tradition versus the kid birthday party. Like Casey always got to decide what he was going to eat or where we were going to go for dinner. So that's just that, being able to pick what your food is, and at even, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, it's an important thing to feel like you get to pick what you're going to eat. And that was our tradition. And, as he got older, we were always going to Zuni's, which is very expensive, but that's fine because it was his birthday. So
That's right. That's
And
right. The birthday year.
I love that you made a distinction between, the kid birthday celebration and the family birthday celebration, and that you can make that distinction and think about how to approach both of those. Lots of love in the chat. Tamar, Lucy's going to make a birthday altar next year. Let's see. Joe says congratulations and thank you for hosting his recent 89th birthday. Lots of other things. Let's see, we have a question from Rebecca. Interested in how this workbook will help introverts learn to celebrate without stepping into an uncomfortable space. How would you encourage a quiet, meaningful celebration?
Great question, Rebecca. Thank you. Go outside, go into nature, be creative. Go, find the things, I think creative outlets that you can do by yourself, but that raise your spirit. And then also going into nature, go into nature, or do whatever, go to the art museum, right? Do whatever you want to do that makes you feel that you're having a special day, but that feeds you and nourishes you spiritually, right? That helps touch your spirit. When I see art, I'm an artist. When I see art that moves me, I want to get tears in my eyes. Some people have that with music. Some people have that being out at the sunset sunset at the beach. So you decide for yourself what elevates your spirit, what makes you feel good, and allow yourself to center your day around that. and you don't need to be around people.
Okay, I have another kind of a question, and I have worked with so many couples where one person has decided that the other person should have a surprise birthday party to very different results. Can you speak to that, Tamar?
Yeah, if you should know you should know whether your spouse wants to have a surprise party or not. It's like, remember the newlywed game when they'd ask questions, what color is your husband's toothbrush? And you'd have the answer, you didn't. You should know, does your spouse want to have a surprise party? Yes or no? And if they don't, and you do it anyway, oh, that's not good. Honor what they're requesting. That's not good. It can be really intense to be overwhelmed and surprised with a whole range of people you didn't expect to see. We're very sensitive on your birthday. I'm sensitive on my birthdays. And I think generally speaking, we're all extra sensitive on our birthdays. So what do you think, Deborah, about that?
I think you're spot on. I think that you have to listen to your person and know who you're with, and you don't decide that it would be good for them to have a surprise birthday when they have said clearly that it would be the worst thing. And
No,
I have seen people so hurt both sides, because the one side is like, I did everything. I got these people from all over to show up for you. And then the other person is just like, you don't know who I am. And so, yes, know who your person is, and don't try and stretch. Don't try and force, it's lovely to be love bombed one-on-one maybe, but if
or
you're an introvert and you don't want it, it's not good.
Or maybe say, okay, all 30 people I'm inviting to the party, can you please send cards with appreciations and gratitude for the person? I will present it to them on their birthday.
Yes.
Okay. We have time for just a couple more questions here. Here's an anonymous question that came in, not wanting to bring the mood down, but how do you celebrate a birthday when someone you love passes away on your birthday?
Oh,
And
wow.
and the person goes on to say, my mom passed away on her father's birthday. And
Yeah.
another family member said that my mom wanted her dad to know that she is always celebrating it with him.
Yeah, so, this is a big one. And so the heartbreak of death is very real. There's no question about that. But if you can allow for the possibility that the spirit continues beyond the physical form, death can be a beautiful transition into a new birth for the person who has transitioned. So if you can see in some way that you both celebrate birthdays, it's just that they celebrate the birthday into the spiritual world and you're celebrating your birthday into the physical world, perhaps you can see almost in that yin yang kind of picture that there's a completion there with a lot of spiritual power. I think it takes a lot of spiritual openness and heart-centered direction to be able to connect with the loved one who's departed in that way. But if we can get past the grief and see it as like, oh, there's actually something beautiful going on here. If I think about the liberation of the soul and what they experienced leaving their body, because I do believe 100% that there is great and tremendous light and love on the other side of this physical existence.
Okay, thank you for that thoughtful answer. I know that can be a tricky one. We have time for one last question here. This one came in the chat. It's a big change to move from relying on others to create your birthday for you to taking control of the planning and execution of your own birthday. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, it is a change. And hopefully in life, we're changing and growing and evolving. And birthdays give us an opportunity to prioritize what we want and to say, hey, instead of relying on all of you to celebrate my day, I'm going to take charge and this is what I want. Can you help me achieve this? It's important. And this is one of my friends, when she read my book early on, she was very gung-ho and she created this amazing day for herself. And it ended up that her husband felt excluded because she didn't include him in the planning process. And so that created some tension there. And it was like, oh yeah, you're right. Be gung-ho, but include your partner. Like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you think of that? Not to have them tell you it's okay or not, but just so that there's a feeling of inclusion. And it's a practice, and you get to practice each and every birthday, how it works out. And I just say start where you want. There are no rules other than go with what you want to do and let yourself receive the joy and the love that's there for you on your day.
Okay, thank you. And a few people have mentioned here how amazing it is of you to share this gift with us on your birthday, this gift of bringing this into the world. So thank you again for that. It's time to wrap up our Q&A here. This has been great questions. Thank you, everybody. Lots of great questions in the chat. Wait, I think Marianne is raising her hand. I'm not sure. Oh, she's showing the picture in the back. Here, let me see if I can hold it up. Because Marianne is in a very small window. Here we go. Tamar, how old were you in this picture?
I was 6 years old, and that is the picture that's on my altar behind me.
Nice.
I was so proud that day with my cake and my birthday, and
Yeah.
that's the inner child. You know, we all have our inner child in us, and if we can help encourage the inner child to participate in our birthdays each year, however old we are, we can have a happier birthday for sure.
Yeah. Marianne is asking who took this picture.
My mother did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it says Tamar on the cake. There's a smiley face and some candles. And when everybody gets their own copy of the book, they can flip right to that and check it out up close. Great. Okay, so now we are going to do a giveaway of a signed copy of Tamar's brand new book. So while I am getting that up on the screen, this would be a great time. I know a bunch of you have put birthday messages and congratulations messages in the chat so far. If you haven't yet done so, this would be a great time to drop your messages into the chat for Tamar. And I am going to save all of them and get them over to Tamar tonight after the call. And I know she's going to love hearing from all of you. And your messages so far have been so great. So let's get over to our prize wheel while those are coming in. Oh, I think somebody accidentally direct messaged me instead of going to the chat.
Me,
But either way should work.
great.
And direct messages are fine, and group messages are fine. All right. Let's get over to the prize wheel. I will share my screen.
And can I also show what prizes you're going to get beside? You're going to actually
Oh,
get,
yes.
you're going to get not just the paperback, you're going to get the hardcover version of the book signed. And you're also going to get, see this birthday banner behind me? You're going to get a birthday banner. And you're
Ooh,
going to get some sparkle candles.
yay.
So you should be very excited and hope really hard that you're the lucky person tonight.
I have my own sparkle candles right here that you sent me, and my birthday's coming up, and I'm very much looking forward to using these. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Tamar, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody who RSVP'd ahead of time, we have your names in the wheel here, and I am going to spin it, and we will see who wins all of the fun prizes. All right, what have we got?
Oh,
Amit. Is Amit still here? Let's see. I can't see the chat. Where's the chat?
Amin, are you here?
Everybody is muted. So Amit, if you're here, can you
Something in your chat.
put something in the chat, please? Otherwise, we will draw again. Let's see. Is Amit here?
I don't think so, because I think he would have chatted.
Okay, so let's remove and we will spin again.
Oh, yay, yay.
Thea.
Here.
Is Thea here?
No, she left early.
Let me see.
Here, put in your chat. I know
Oh,
you're
I
here.
see a Thea in the list of people I could chat to. So let's see. Yep, Thea is here.
Yay, yay.
All right.
Yeah, and you know what? Guess what, everybody? Thea's birthday is coming up January 17th.
Perfect timing.
These are going in the mail. Toot sweet.
You're gonna have to get those, yeah, straight into the mail so that Thea can get that in time
And
to
I also
plan.
want to give a shout out to two other birthdays. Karen, if Karen's here, it's her birthday today. So happy birthday, Karen, if you're here. Happy birthday. And Karen's was a neighbor of mine for many years, and we shared a birthday. And then my friend Dana is having birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday, Eve. Birthday Eve is a thing. So it's Dana's birthday Eve. Happy birthday.
All right, thank you. And Thea, if you could please send me a private message with a good mailing address, unless Tamara already has it, then I will make sure she gets that and she can get the book right out to you. Okay. Also, we have party favors for everyone who's here tonight. We have special bookmarks and we have signed book plates, which you can add inside your own hardcover book or paperback book so that everybody can have their own signed copy of Tamar's book when she sends you a signed book plate. She's going to mail these out in the actual mail. So if you'd like a party favor, please send me a private message with your mailing address. And Tamar will get those sent out to you as soon as she can. And I'm going to put the links in the chat for the book. You can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, bookshop.org. You can ask for it wherever you like to buy your books. And if you have picked it up already, oh, now let's see, Amit is joining. So that's interesting. Isn't that who we drew first?
Yeah. Okay, I'll send him a copy too.
Okay.
And easy. Amit, you won a prize. So
Share the
I'll
love. Share the
that,
love.
yeah.
All right, great. So Amit, if you can please send me your mailing address also in a private message. I'll make sure Tamara gets that as well. Okay, if you've already picked up the book, please consider leaving a review on Amazon. You've probably heard that reviews are very, very important in helping the book get traction and really most importantly in helping people figure out if the book is for them. So a few thoughtful comments, it doesn't have to be long or fancy, but sharing something that you liked or found useful about the book really helps readers to see if it would be a helpful book for them. So now I am going to turn it over to Tamar for a few final thoughts.
I just want to thank everybody who showed up tonight. I feel your love. I'm grateful that you're here and that we're sharing this time together. This is such a big moment in my life, and this moment will never happen again. And we shared it together, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. The last thing I want to do, and it's actually it's actually a little vulnerable thing I'm going to do on my birthday. I have angel cards in here. I always pick an angel card on my birthday, and angel cards are just these wonderful little cards that have a word on them. So I'm going to pick an angel card that I usually do earlier in the day, but I saved it for now so we can do it together. And let's see what kind of card I get. Oh, wow. That's a good one. Balance. So this is good. This is the word that I'm going to be thinking about personally for me is like, how do I keep my balance? And it's a picture. Check this out. It's a picture of an angel walking a tightrope and maintaining balance. So that's a really good word. So that's my angel word for today, for tonight, for my year. Anyway, thanks everybody. Thank you so much. And I hope you all have happy birthdays. I bet you are. If anybody reads this book and does not have a happier birthday as a result, let me know and we're going to go out to dinner. I don't care where you live. We're going to go out to dinner and we're going to talk about it.
Perfect.
That's my promise to you.
All right, great. Thank you, Tamar. Thank you everybody for dropping your messages into the chat. I'm going to get those to Tamar. Make sure that you see, I'll put in here one more time the links to buy the book, especially on Amazon today. Tamar's hot new bestseller on Amazon, which is exciting. And thank you to everybody who has helped to make that happen. Deborah, thank you so much for leading our discussion tonight and for the work that you are doing. Tamar, again, congratulations, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. And everyone who's joined us here tonight, thank you so much for being here. Have a great night.